Hello and happy Sunday. This is Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and today is Sunday, October the 20th. We're zooming in close on Halloween. I don't know if that's going to be an issue for any of you. I know we've already been talking about Halloween candy in our Tuesday night meeting. Apparently, we've had a couple of people that have already been into it, but fortunately, Casey and I are doing trunk or treat with Alyssa and Bo, so there is no Halloween candy in our house. But anyway, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. The weather in Knoxville this week has been absolutely fantastic. If the weather's been great in your area, I hope you have taken advantage of it. We have tried to get outside, go do things. Karen and I had a great walk this afternoon. We are going back out again in the morning. The weather has been awesome. It has been perfectly fall days. Yeah, if there was ever a pumpkin spice sweater weather, soup time, apple season, whatever weather it has been this week. And yes, let me say hi to Catherine and Ann. Go Balls. We beat Alabama again yesterday. So if you were here from Alabama, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. If you're watching this later on YouTube, and hello Marianne. If you're watching this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, and you're from Alabama, sorry, but go Balls. We beat Bama again. That was the 107th time that we have met up with Alabama on the third Saturday in October, and we won. It was not a pretty game, but we won. Okay, so like us on Weight Watchers, we persevered. We pushed to the end and finally pulled out victory. Okay, so I've missed a couple of people. Somehow I went from, when Ann popped in, I went from lovely fall weather to rabid football fan. Okay, so who did I miss? Let's see. I think I said hello to Marianne. Let's see. Hello, Sarah from Raleigh, Massachusetts. Good to see you. Hello, Sherry from Cape Coral, Florida. Hello, Carol. Let's see, Carol Ann. Hello, Trish. Good to see you. Hello, Sandra from Dingman's Ferry. Hello, Mary from Pittsburgh. And hello, Sylvia. Awesome to see you. And hello, Carol Lou. Carol Lou's going to be multitasking again tonight because the Steelers are on. That's awesome. Hello, Danielle. I trust you are mending up well. I don't think I've gotten to talk to you. I don't think I've talked to you. So I hope you are mending up well. I'm Danielle, and hello, hello, Marlene from Largo, Florida. But again, hello and happy Sunday, everybody. This is October the 20th. I am Kelly. This is IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You can watch this later on YouTube. That's just youtube.com. Search If You Have an Egg. If you are brand new, please say hi and hello. Please let us know that you are brand new because we would love to welcome you. And let's see. Hello, Elaine. Oh, and Trish, Trish missed on the Zoom with Gwen. Yeah, the girls would not let me. They just wouldn't let me do it. But yeah, y'all keep talking to each other. I love it when y'all chit-chat with each other, and I will try not to get in the middle of your conversations. Y'all know I'm a little bit nosy. But again, if you're new, please let us know because we would love to welcome you. Also, if you were brand new, we do have a closed Facebook group, and one of our lovely ladies will post that here in just a little bit. You do have to answer 3 questions to get in. We would love to have you over there too. And we've not been having as many. Sometimes we have like some pretty deep, private conversations. Not had too many of those lately, but it is a safe place to ask questions. It's a safe place to have, some of those discussions. So y'all, start some chatter again. And hello, Jonna. Good to see you. So again, it's been a fantastic weather week here in Knoxville. I mean, perfect fall weather. I started breaking out the soup stuff. I broke the Instant Pot back out. My dear friend Debbie from Orlando has sent me a whole list of soup recipes that I will be trying. She recommends them. Well, let's see. I think she's only tried 1 or 2 of them, but she was recommending them to make the soup and then do them in the pressure canner because I have news in the second half. I have news to share in the second half. But it was just soup and not really sweater, kind of a light cover up. John said that it was thermal underwear and sweatpant weather. I don't think so. But he has gone to Las Vegas for a business trip right now, and they had to run up to Utah. And he said there was snow on the mountains in Utah, and it looked like it had been on some of the cars. Yeah, quite chilly. He was happy to get back to Las Vegas and then come back to our sunny weather tomorrow. And let's see. Oh, yeah, Sylvia's exactly right. She said, Marlene, so happy that you have electricity and the kids are back in school. That is awesome. Okay, so let's get to chit-chatting. Hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Say hello, hello, hello. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, say hello because I would love to say hi back to you. Y'all have grown eerily quiet over on YouTube. Don't know what the deal is with that, but we got to get some more chatter going. And again, if you're new, let us know. Okay, so first little bit of news today is the start of Julie's challenge. So Julie over on the, and hello Joyce Lynn from California, Julie also from California, who hasn't popped in yet. She hosts a challenge over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group every week, and she loves it when y'all comment. Even if you just comment, I'm in, or let's do it, or whatever, she loves it when y'all chime in, and I do too, because I love to see you all talking to each other. So today, she just started today, the new challenge is called, she described it to me, this long description. I narrowed it down to the name that I put on it is Save a Point, Earn a Point. So Julie was having trouble coming up with the topic for this week. And hello, Orlando Debbie. We were just talking about you and the soup recipes that you shared. And hello, Karen from Michigan. But I called it Save a Point, Earn a Point. So Julie was having trouble coming up with a challenge for over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group this week. And she's just all of a sudden said, you know what? Here's a challenge. So she is challenging you to challenge yourself to have at least 1 point left over in a day this week, or to do some kind of activity and earn a point. So it's a Save a Point, Earn a Point challenge. And again, you're not competing with anybody but yourself. So it's not like at the end of the week, we're not going to go, well, I saved 7 points and I earned 14 points or whatever. That's not what kind of, oh, I know, Debbie. I know. They're not, Debbie said those aren't her recipes, the recipes you shared with me. Yes, ma'am. But I thought that was a great one. So again, you're not competing with anybody else. So at the end of the week, I don't want to hear people saying, well, I saved, 7 points or I earned 14 points or whatever. That's great to let us know, but it's not a competition. Okay. If you saved 1 point one day this week, or if you earned 1 point one day this week, boom, you win. And hello, Marlene. So that is the challenge. That's Julie's challenge over in the If You Have an Egg Facebook group this week. Please, chit chat about it. Please talk to each other about it. We love it when y'all talk to each other. And aloha, Kathy. Good to see you as well. Okay, next bit of news. Sarah says, how would you earn if you've already saved? So Sarah, you can earn points through activity. So if you save, okay, so let's say if you get 24 points a day and you only use 23 points that day, then you saved up 1 point to roll over into the next day. Or if you used 20, you would have saved up 4 points to roll over into the next day. And you can roll over so many points per day for the week, but then at the end of the week, all of those are wiped clean. And then you start all over again. And hello, Sandra from Naperville. But if you, like I can't switch over to the Weight Watchers app. I'm confident that I earned some extra points through activity. I don't use my activity points, so I try not to eat them. I try to just use them, for my body. So, and hello, Bernice from Northeastern Texas. It is so good to see you. So next thing, again this week, I swear, I feel like I'm the recall recap person. Like the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks maybe. So oy vey, there are a lot of recalls and they all seem to be stemming around listeria. Do we have someone smarter than me that knows exactly what listeria is and how does it end up in our food? So that's the part I don't know, but I feel like I do need to share with you all. These recalls have kind of got, I don't know, they've gotten a little, I don't want to say out of hand. Maybe it's just because I'm noticing them more, but I've never, ever in my life I've never noticed a recall posted like at the grocery store. And this week, again, there were recalls posted all over Kroger. This is what they were. So first recall up is, oh great, Debbie. I didn't want that to be it. Okay, Debbie says that it's a bacteria and it's caused from uncleanliness. Great. Fantastic. Okay. And Sarah, I don't want you to hear about a recall and think of me. Yeah, so I am the recall recap. Okay, so this one, first up, is a variety of frozen waffles, and I was shocked when I saw, hello Barbara, I was disappointed when I saw the first one, and then I went back around and noticed the rest of them. So the first one is a variety of frozen waffles, again, due to concerns of listeria. There have been, as of today, there have been no confirmed reports of illness from this, but the risk for contamination of listeria was found during routine testing these brands, the brands that could be, that have been recalled, include, but are not limited to, Hannaford, HEB, Harris Teeter, Kodiak Cakes. So apparently, hello Lynn. So apparently Kodiak Cakes is made by this same manufacturer, but really, that makes me sad. But anyway, Kodiak Cakes, Simple Truth, which is a Kroger private label brand, Publix, Good and Gather, which I think is that Target. I think Good and Gather is that Target brand. Great Value, which is a Walmart brand, and I will be posting. I'll have Casey post the link to the complete list when this is published on www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Next up is from Bruce Pack, the company called Bruce Pack, and it continues its recall of ready-to-eat meat and poultry products, but now it includes some popular frozen and prepared meals. They've also added a list of products that may be served in an institutional setting or in school systems. Really? Really? That kind of stinks. Okay. So here are some of the brands that are affected if you have any of these in your freezer. And Debbie did post that. She did post one of these recalls on this page, on the public page, the If You Have an Egg page. And so everybody can see that, and you can share it if you need to, because that's not a closed group or page. Okay, so Bruce Pack, if you have any of these in your freezer, again, we will post the, hello Betty. We will post the link so that y'all can go back and find the complete list. But some of the brands that are affected are Atkins. So some Atkins pre-prepared meals are included on this. Trader Joe's. What? No, Trader Joe's. No. So you'll have to go find that list. Boston Market, Michelina's. I used to eat those all the time. I haven't eaten them in years, but I used to eat them all the time. Taylor Farms, that was the first. So Taylor Farms, some pre-prepared things that had meat or chicken in them, that was what started when I noticed this recall. But Taylor Farms has continued. Home Chef. So if you just got a Home Chef delivery, you need to go online and see if it's included in this recall. That is too expensive for you not to pay attention to this. And we will post that entire list over on If You Have an Egg. Okay. Quickly, one little last bit of news before I run us out of time. This is new to me, but these are absolutely delicious, and so I wanted to show them to you all real quick. Smart Food. I've never noticed this. I don't know if they're actually new or if I've just never noticed it. Doritos Nacho Cheese. These are pretty darn good. It's popcorn. So yeah, Debbie says that's why she's a big fan of creating and canning her own meals. So I don't know if this is actually new or if it's just new to me, but I now own, this is on sale at Kroger this week, and I now own 4 bags of this, okay? So one serving is about 2 1/3 cups, which is that much. It's a pretty decent size. It is 5 points. It's still 5 smart points, but I'm telling you, I can make this last a long time, especially here at work. I can eat 1 piece at a time, and I can put it away. So I have been successfully pouring this much into a little container and sitting and eating at one time. If this had been actual Doritos, this entire bag would be gone, okay? I would not be able to control myself. So for anyone who loves Doritos, this many for 5 smart points, and I'm having success stopping at this many and not eating the entire bag, which I would have if it had been actual Doritos. Okay. Whew, so enough news. Next, I need to know who attended an in-person workshop last week. So give me some thumbs ups for attending in-person workshops, or if you went to a virtual workshop this past week. So thumbs ups for that. And let's see, Debbie says mix regular air pop popcorn with that to increase the volume. That would be a great idea. And I'm sure there's probably some kind of Doritos powder that you can even, that you could even add to that, but that's great. And yes, and I know I saw you. And Lynn, good job. So thumbs ups, everybody, and then give me some hearts. See if I can make our hearts work today. Come on. So hearts, if you went to, if you attended here with us live last week. Oh, there we go. Or if you watch later on demand. Good job, everybody. So lots of Bravo stickers to hand out for everybody who did in-person workshops, virtual workshops, or were here with us last week. Okay, so last week we're going to rush through that because I've taken up 15 minutes of our time already. So last week we were talking about sugar, fiber, carbs. Oh my. So we realized that last week that fiber is a complex carbohydrate. So we were talking a little bit about sugar. We were talking a little bit about carbohydrates. A lot of people were like, ooh, carbs are bad. I have a problem with carbs. Carbs are taboo. Carbs are not always taboo. They don't have to be taboo, okay? You can get some good carbs that are good for you, that fill you up, and that do some other things. So I just want to say, back on my Doritos flavored popcorn, this has 13 grams of carbohydrates. So it has carbohydrates in it, but it is a popcorn. It is popcorn. But it also has 2 grams. It has 2 grams of fiber. So the 2 grams of fiber that are in this Doritos flavored popcorn, that counts. That counts as a complex carbohydrate. So we were talking about that last week, that all carbohydrates are not bad. Carbohydrates are the body's main source of fuel. It's actually great for your brain. So your brain has to have, some kind of fuel, and carbohydrates are, where it gets it. We need some good carbs. We have to have some good carbs. You can't sustain life, and especially brain use. You can't sustain that long term on low or especially zero carb. It's just not going to work. Okay, you'll be miserable. Your brain's going to get foggy. All these things are going to happen. So we need some great for us complex carbohydrates. So your homework for last week was #focus on fiber. And I wanted you to kind of focus on the fiber. That didn't mean that you needed to run out and eat some grass out of your yard or roughage or something that was just pure fiber. My mother did that to me one time when she became vegan. The first time that she invited me over to eat dinner that Saturday night, I literally spent the entire next day, you guessed it, in the bathroom. And I called my mom and I was like, what on earth? I wasn't sick, but I was like, what on earth did we eat? It had 28 grams of fiber in one meal. Okay. I had been used to getting about 18 to 20 grams of fiber per day, and she fed me 28 grams of fiber in one meal. So, a couple of things we talked about last week. Adding fiber is good. Adding fiber automatically means that you're getting some complex carbohydrates, and you need to drink plenty of water with it. So if you're adding fiber to your diet, please make sure that you drink plenty of water, or you're going to have problems in a different direction. So your homework for last week was #focus on fiber. It was super simple. All you had to do was find something with some fiber in it. You could have said, hey, I got 2 grams of fiber from eating these Dorito flavored popcorn from Smart Foods. But here's how we did. Deanna just went straight for the hard stuff. Okay. She just passed up everything else, and she went straight for the hard stuff and ate some prunes. Way to go, girl. I cannot stand prunes. You'd have to, it'd be a pretty pent up day, if you know what I mean, to be able to get me to eat some prunes. But wow, way to get some fiber in. So she just went straight for the hard stuff and had some prunes. Sherry covered complex carbohydrates and fiber and yummy food, even though that wasn't a category, but she covered all 3 of those. She had some lovely, luscious salads and added garbanzo beans, fruit, and nuts, and she covered all of that. Lynn had sweet potatoes not once, but twice this week. So instead of having a white carb and some white potatoes, sweet potatoes are so much more healthy for you. They have so much more fiber. You can tell by their dark color, that dark orange color, that they are so much better for you. Beta carotenes, all those great things. So Lynn did that twice this week. Way to go, ladies. None of our gents participated in their homework this week. Just saying, boys, you got some catching up to do. So bravo stickers to everyone who did their homework this week, even if your homework was just eating some Doritos flavored popcorn. Okay. This week we're talking about your activity identity. So I don't know about you all, but I am suffering greatly since Weight Watchers has taken away the weekly topic, and I hope you all will keep gently pressuring them about that. Mindy and her ladies are a perfect example of that that kind pressure, but to keep the pressure onto Weight Watchers to add something back. They actually have meetings back in an area in South Carolina where it had been eliminated not that long ago, probably within a year. They just started meetings there again. So having them add these weekly topics back, I think if we all just kind of gently keep that pressure on, that we might be able to pull that off. So this week, the topic is your activity identity, and I'm just going to throw something out. Okay. If you're a Criminal Minds, where are my Criminal Minds watchers? So who watches Criminal Minds? Show me a couple of hands. Ooh, and Sarah accidentally did her homework, or she just did her homework just now. She had some turkey chili and limited to a cup, 50 nuts. Very good, Sarah. Okay, so we've got a couple of Criminal Minds watchers. How about Law and Order? And it could be all the way back to the first ones, or it could be all the way up to SVU and whatever the newer ones are. But and which one's your favorite? So do you like Law and Order, Criminal Minds, Blue Bloods, any of those kind of shows, any of those kind of cop shows? Okay. What about Dragnet? And I'm talking old school Dragnet. Does anybody? Oh, and again, and we could hang out and watch TV at night. Anybody? Do I have any old school Dragnet? And you know which one I'm talking about. If you're old school. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. Okay, so if you watch any of those three, anything like that, you have heard them use the term, Sarah says, might have watched me some Dragnet, LOL. Yeah, she might have watched that, and Lynn watches Blue Bloods. So if you've watched any type of show like that, you have for sure heard them say the term MO, or modus operandi. That means, so when they say, well, that's the criminal's MO, or we need to figure out what the criminal's MO is. Oh yeah, NCIS, that's another good one, Sarah. But we need to figure out what the, yeah. Okay, so Ann and I need to just go on an SVU marathon or something, or a Criminal Minds marathon. But anyway, so if you've heard them say, we're trying to figure out the criminal's MO, or this is the suspect's MO. So that is actually their modus operandi. And that just means it's a distinctive behavior that, or a distinctive pattern of behavior that the criminal has. Like if they wear, like their mode of operation. So Debbie says, it's their mode of operation. So that distinctive behavior pattern is their mode of operation. And they just call it an MO. Okay. So modus operandi, the definition is a particular way or method of doing something, especially one that is characteristic or well established. So, when you get to that level of criminal that you've made it onto SVU, or you've made it onto Criminal Minds or Blue Bloods or whatever, when you've made it that far, then it is a particular way. Oh yeah, all the CSIs for sure, Sarah. So it is a particular way or method of doing something. Like they have a particular way of perpetuating this crime or the crimes, whatever, and it is characteristic. It's characteristic of them. It's a well-established thing. You don't make it to NCIS level criminology to not have an MO. Okay, so we're not talking about criminals here. Okay, obviously we are not talking about criminals, even though I've gotten you all Bones, yes, and I still watch Bones on Hulu. Anyway, Anne's got me a little excited. So we're not talking about criminals, okay? That's not what we're talking about. But when it comes to our activity, we all have an MO, okay? We really do. So hang in with me, and I'll explain it here in just a second. So let me say first, this chat is not about exercise, okay? We are not talking about exercise. I'm not saying as soon as we get off the chat, you go run a mile, come right back, and then we'll come right back to the chat. I'm not talking about exercise tonight at all. Okay. Other than at the beginning when I said the weather was beautiful and Karen and I got a good walk in. But anyway, so an MO. So tonight's topic is not about exercise per se. Weight Watchers wanted us to craft an activity that feels right for you. So that was actually in their instructions for this week, was to craft an activity. They didn't say craft an exercise. They didn't say jog, run, swim, scuba dive, whatever. They said craft an activity that feels right for you. I decided that the chat then would be about a distinctive pattern of behavior that gets you moving in a way that isn't necessarily exercise, okay? I don't actually want it to be about true exercise, okay? So what's your MO? Dig deep. I want y'all to really dig deep. I want you to stop and think a little. If you go to Sunday school in the South, you know that no matter what the question is, well, we always say, I don't know about y'all, but we always say, don't panic, don't panic. It doesn't really matter what question they ask you in Sunday school. It doesn't matter what the question is. Just go, oh, Jesus. The answer is Jesus. Because that's your panic in church or panic in Sunday school answer, because Jesus really answers any question that they could have for you. Okay, so I don't want your panic, Jesus, response. I want you to really think about this. What is an MO? What is a distinctive pattern of behavior that for you is a distinctive pattern of behavior for you that's really not an exercise, but it's something that you do. So maybe you spend all day crawling after toddlers. So maybe you're I don't know, maybe you watch kids, maybe you're a daycare teacher, or maybe you just have that many toddlers and you spend half your day crawling after them, picking up toys, things like that. That's actually activity, but it's not technically exercise. Maybe as soon as it's warm enough for those first seedlings to come out of the ground, maybe you hit home after work on a hard day and you garden and you're out there digging, you're out there planting stuff, you're out there picking stuff, whatever. So gardening is still an activity, but it's not technically exercise. Or something that I used to do when Alyssa was little is I would spend every Monday afternoon blowing bubbles at the nursing home. So it required squatting, getting more bubble stuff, standing up, blowing bubbles, squatting, getting more bubble stuff, standing up, blowing bubbles. And it also required me going around the nursing home and getting, 8 or 10 little old ladies and men and pushing them outside with their wheelchairs. So again, I was getting lots of activity, but it wasn't technically exercise. So I want you to dig a little deeper and really think about some things like that you do. Okay, then I want you to think about an MO that you could put on a t-shirt, okay? So let's pretend that we're gonna screen print like my Smokies t-shirt here, because, by the way, my 865 Live t-shirt, because, by the way, we might have beaten Alabama again, okay? It was just the 107th time that we had, come into battle with them on the 3rd Saturday in October. But anyway, so let's pretend that we're making a t-shirt like this, but we're going to put our MO. We're going to put our MO on that t-shirt. So my t-shirt might say, I baby hike. And I know I said that fast and with a Southern accent. Y'all probably didn't get what I said, but mine might say, I baby hike, and then in parentheses underneath it would say with a water destination. So I love to hike, and they're not babies anymore, so maybe it should say I toddler hike. But I love to go on little hikes with the girls, but they always have to have a water destination. So that's not really exercise. I'm just following the girls around. I'm just helping them, picking them up, setting them down, but I baby hike with a water destination. My friend Becky's would be, I do all my physical therapy every day. She's had both knees replaced, one of them replaced twice, shoulder surgery, blah, blah, blah. She's got bionic parts all over, but she has made a concentrated effort to do her physical therapy, whatever her physical therapist told her to do, every single day. It's technically not exercise, but it is. It's an activity. So what is yours? And I've already seen a couple of good ones. We're going to save that as your homework. So your homework is hashtag what's on your shirt. Hashtag WHATSONYOURSHIRT. So hashtag what's on your shirt. So easy. It's so easy. 2 people have already done their homework. So Casey, I know you're not watching this live right now, but do the homework badge. They're already on top of it. It's so easy. All you have to think about is making a virtual pretend t-shirt. I mean, if you want to make a real t-shirt, you go, girl. But just think about it. You're going to make a virtual pretend t-shirt, and you're going to think, what am I going to put on my t-shirt? And again, mine could say, I baby hike with a water destination. That would be my t-shirt. So hashtag what's on your shirt. And thank you, Lynn, for always faithfully sharing that. But do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Barbara says hers is house cleaning. Maybe it's you dance while you're cleaning house. So Barbara, do you do anything else exciting while you're house cleaning? Do you put a little jig in it? Do you make an extra effort to, like, you know, you rake leaves or whatever? So hashtag what's your homework? Do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. I'm going to be asking you about it next week. Okay, we're at the halfway point. If you are brand new, we always stop for a little bit of water. Ooh, Barbara, yeah, Barbara cleans to music. So I'm sure there's some activity getting in there. That's going to be her t-shirt. But we're at the halfway point, and this is the time. Yes, thank you, Sandra. This is the time during the chat that I ask everybody to drink a little bit of water, because it's the only time all week that I know for sure that you got some water. New people, this chat is 1 hour long. We do the classwork from the previous Weight Watchers week in the first half, and the second half is something fun. And we're going to talk about good old Southern lady country cooking comfort food tonight in the second half. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one. Okay, but first, everybody grab you a drink of water. Oh, and I love me some English mountain spring water. Okay, even though I'm not expecting to get hot, I know with this little sweater and an apron on, I'm going to break a sweat. So I'm going to take that off. This is the second half of tonight's chat. We are going to be partially cooking something. So I'm going to get the apron on. You'll also know, if you decide to watch this later on YouTube, that's just youtube.com, search If You Have an Egg, that if you just wanted to see the second half, you will know when it starts, because that's when the apron goes on. And Casey does divide these up into 2 different videos. The first video will be the full hour, and the second video will just be this portion. Okay, let me get my hair out of the way, because we are going to be fiddling with some food tonight. Oh, and look at y'all already doing your homework. Somebody call Casey. Text her and tell her she better get to work on that. What in the world? Tell her she better get to work on that homework badge. Yeah, because you all are already using it. Okay, my hair is crazy for the second half. But, okay, we're not going to waste any time fixing it. We're going to jump right in. So, where are my Southern girls? So, I need to know who here is from south of the Mason-Dixon line. And again, if you're from Alabama, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry about yesterday. So I need to know, where are my Southern girls? So give me a show of hands. And I'm not sure Florida counts. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Y'all, and there's already a Florida girl. So y'all tell me, where are my Florida girls? Where are my Southern girls? Where are my girls from the South? And I don't know what all states this is. Debbie says, me. Okay, Debbie's in Florida. Y'all might count. Texas might count. I don't think Texas A&M should be part of the SEC, but that's a whole nother conversation. Okay, so, and John is from Virginia. You're probably the closest. I don't know, Sherry. You're tell me if it counts after we start talking. So John is probably the closest so far to being somebody who's going to have a clue what I'm talking about. Now, okay, so even if you're not from the South, who knows what lard is? So give me a different show of hands, or a thumbs up, or a yes on lard, or whatever, but tell me if you know what lard is. And if you don't go look it up. So y'all have to tell me if you're saying yes that you're a Southern girl, if you're saying yes that you know what lard is. You're going to have to tell me, because I can't tell the difference between them. And y'all are on a little bit of a delay, and my hair is driving me crazy. Ann says 100%, so she knows what lard is. Yeah, she knows. Okay, and if you know what lard is, do you know what fatback is? Ooh, Sylvia's from Oklahoma, and but Sylvia, hold on a minute. Y'all put lard in your refried beans and stuff, don't you? So, yeah. Okay, and yes, Debbie does know what lard is. Okay, so, good, Sherry. I didn't know. Okay, do y'all also know what fatback is? And no, I'm not going to be showing you any lard or fatback, so don't worry about that. Okay, Sherry, yeah, Sherry. Okay, Sherry, then you're Southern. Joycelyn says, yeah. Yep, so Sherry is Southern, and Jonna says yes to fatback. Okay, so for anyone who does not know what lard or fatback is, that is what all us Southern girls and guys, that is what our grandmothers, some of us are mothers, and some of us, I don't not gonna lie, but I have in the past. All of our grandmother, oh my gosh, my hair, we may have to redo my hair. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, but all of us good Southern ladies know what lard is. A lot of our grandmothers, moms, and then some of us had a metal coffee can. I don't know what y'all kept yours in, but we always had a metal coffee can, which is hard to find just a metal coffee can anymore, that you drained bacon drippings into. If you made any kind of meat that would leave like rendered fat, like rendered animal fat in it, you put it in this coffee can and you left it out on your counter, or on, depending on how big your stovetop was, on your stove with the lid on it, and it was good. It was good. You used it for a lot of cooking. And Sandra, that's actually what we're going to talk about. Or if you didn't have any lard, or if you preferred more of like a bacony type taste, you used fatback. So for any of you all who don't know what that is, yeah, see Sylvia, I knew that's, yeah. So same but different. Yeah, I've kind of figured that's where you were going to head with yours. Yep, and Sherry says my mamaw had that can. So if y'all don't have a mamaw, you might not know what we're talking about. Debbie still keeps her bacon drippings to fry eggs in. There's literally nothing better. Okay, if you don't know what lard or fatback is, don't wander off just yet. Stick with me, because you can look that up later. You can look up fatback, which is going to gross you out probably, or lard. I mean, the lard is probably going to gross you out, like what it's made out of. And yeah, and Karen says Karen has rendered lard. See, ta-da, all the best food comes from that. But tonight, that's not what we're talking about, okay? Tonight, I'm going to show you what my friend Becky and I, who have been working on, remember the Becky that does all of her physical therapy? I'm going to show you what we have been working on for this last week. And I'm proud to say that I have graduated from the Gran, and so Gran is Becky's mother, but I'm proud to say that we have graduated from the Gran School of Pressure Canning Green Beans. So I'm going to start with that. Becky and I had a 6-hour training. Nope, I don't have two that are different. Okay, so Becky and I had a 6-hour training on Monday with her mom, and her mom's grandma name is Gran. So Gran stayed with us for 6 hours on Monday to make sure that we had all the finer points of getting green beans to the size that they needed to be, processing them, prepping them, whatever, pressure canning them, whatever, until we had successfully that day had canned, day one, we were so dang slow. We were so stinking slow at this, the first round. Tip number one, if you're going to try pressure canning, do not have the pressure canner, do not have what you're working on this high, okay? Becky and I, in our infinite wisdom, decided that we were going to do this on the edge of her upper bar for her island, so that we could have all of our prep stuff everywhere else. It was too dang high, and Becky's only like this tall. It made it really, really hard. By day 2, we had kind of figured that out. By evening 3, we were really getting a hand of this. Last night, I was outside in Casey's carport with a folding table, so I had everything at this, about right here, at this height, and I was out there prepping green beans and canning them like nobody's business. So we have officially pressure canned now, an entire crate of green beans. I have no idea how many were in there, but it was $47 worth of green beans. And we have, let me think, between myself and Becky, I think we have 12 quarts, 24 pints, and we practiced on these ridiculously small half pints. That's not even a serving of green beans. For me, this is a serving of green beans. But we practiced on pints in case we ruined them all. And then we graduated on half pints. Then we graduated to pints. And then, there at the end, we were like, psh, I don't know. It wasn't quite a bushel. I don't think it was a crate. It wasn't, I don't know how much that was. But anyway, so we graduated to quart-sized jars by the time we got done. But yeah, by last night, this is why I said I wanted an actual human being, an actual old woman, and Gran is 80 or 81, I think. I wanted somebody to physically show me how to do this, and I knew I didn't want to watch a YouTube video. Thank you all for suggesting them. I did not want to see Instagram posts. I didn't want to read blog posts. I wanted a human to show me how to do this. And now that she has, and she spent all day long with us, I'm sure thinking, oh golly, girls, come on. Anyway, we successfully did it. So step number one, you got to get some good old southern green beans. And so we use white half runners. You can cheat and use other versions of green beans, but I had so many questions this week while we were doing this about why I chose the green beans that I chose. White half runners are what my grandmother always canned. If you're going to make good old southern lady green beans, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second too, you've got to have either white half runners, brown bush, or brown bunch. They didn't have those at the little market down the street. They did have Shelly beans, and I almost bought some because my grandmother used to put some of those in her green beans. But I thought, okay, Kelly, calm down. Just back it up a minute. You don't need to get too far ahead of yourself. I have decided to take this time, or you're thinking, why now? What, summer's done. Your garden is done. Why are you doing this now? Because for the last 3 years, I have tried to learn how to pressure can. I always do it in the height of the season. I always do it right as everything's coming in, where you're trying to manage the garden, pick things, keep the bugs off them, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. I've been trying to do it at the same time. So you know what? I have all winter to practice, perfect, learn how to do this without the pressure of things coming out of the garden. And Sarah says, what about plain green beans? Do you mean like not white half runners? Like what I'm going to talk to you all about here in just a few minutes works well with like those Allen's, the Allen's flat Italian green beans. They work really well in this. The only other kind of green beans that I have tried for this is at Trader Joe's. They have, it's just green beans. It's what do they call green? The bag of frozen green beans at Trader Joe's. So those are the only kinds of green beans that I've tried this with. But white half runners is what my grandmother always used. We have them available here in East Tennessee certain times of the year, and it just seems to be the most popularly grown. So next thing, to make real southern green beans, sometimes you gotta add potatoes. So the green beans are 0 points. I'm going to tell you how to make them here in a few minutes. We're not going to actually do it tonight just because it takes so long. But green beans with potatoes, that is good old southern comfort food. The green beans have nothing in them. This is literally just green beans and potatoes. Apparently I got that one a little smushed on the bottom, but this is literally just green beans and potatoes. These are going to cook up so good. I'm going to tell you all how to do it tonight, and then I'm probably going to shoot this as a video on Tuesday because it's been so long since I've done a video tutorial. It'll take more time than what we have tonight, so I'm going to get you started tonight. So, what kind of green beans to start with? You're going to start with any kind. These happen to be white half runners. White half runners are this size. White half runners are a string bean, so they do have to be strung. That was the next question that I had. People were like, what do you mean? Green beans come in a can. Okay, already commercially processed green beans do come in a can. Some green beans don't. I needed to show you all if they are string beans, and I just know that white half runners are string beans. If you don't know, if you go buy some, you're going to need to ask somebody because this is what's getting ready to happen. So, we can all agree this is a green bean, right? We can all agree that this is a green bean that did not come out of a can, right? Okay, if you grew up in the South and if you did white half runners, you also know what's getting ready to happen. See this little nib that's right here? And my thumb is so sore from doing this because I did this for probably 3 hours yesterday. You take that little nib and pull down and see the string that's coming off. So there's a string on one side. Then you take the other end, break it, pull down, and there's another string on that side. So here's what's going to happen if you buy green beans. So if you think, this sounds great, Kelly, I'm going to go buy some fresh green beans. And if you don't, oh yeah, and it's because I've been doing this for what? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I skipped Friday, Saturday, 5 days. I've been doing this for 5 days. Okay, and my nails are sparkly because Alyssa painted them. It is the worst nail painting job ever. But okay, so anyway, just know if you go purchase some beans, you need to ask someone, are they string beans? Because here's what's going to happen. And know that they have strings on both sides. So this is my public service announcement to you, because here's what will happen. If you don't string them first, when you break them, you're going to end up with that in your green beans. You do not, trust me, you're going to accidentally get a few of these. Can you see how firm that is? You do not, I mean, that's like thick dental floss, okay? Yeah, you have, yeah, Joycelyn says if you've got a Southern grandmother or mother, you have strung and broken green beans, okay? So, and Sylvia says I have more patience than she does. Nah, because guess what? Guess what I was doing last night during the, or yesterday during the UT Alabama game? I did about, so I strung and broke, and I'm going to show you how to break them in a second, but I strung and broke about a third of that crate of green beans while I was listening to the game. So that doesn't require patience at all. It's actually keeps your hands busy. Guess what I wasn't doing while I was doing this? So while I was doing this, I wasn't sticking food in my mouth. I didn't eat that whole time. I did pick up something to drink, you know, while I was doing that, but I didn't eat the whole time. Okay, so that's the last one I'll do, or we'll be here all night stringing beans. Okay, that's phase one. So phase one is if you want the absolute best green beans, and I'm gonna have to give my thumb a couple of days to rest, but if you want the absolute best green beans you've ever had in your life, go to the trouble. Yep, Joycelyn says she does it while she's watching TV. Perfect. But do yourself a favor and go to the farmer's market or try to find somewhere that has fresh green beans if you can. Okay, so next, you're gonna break the green beans. So they're this long, you've already strung them. If you're gonna can them, you need to break them into 3. You need to break them into 3 pieces if you're gonna can them. I'm not pressure canning these. So any that I have left, I'm just gonna break them into 2. Now see, look, we have an accidental hanger. Even though I did string that one, we had an accidental one on there. You don't want that while you're eating. Trust me, just trust me. So if I'm just gonna be eating them and not pressure canning them, because you know, I do that now. I'm a pressure canner. I could get another t-shirt made that said, I pressure can. Then you just break them in half. And if you're not gonna use them immediately, so like I did these yesterday, but you do have to keep them in water. So now I have this big mess. It's not really a mess, but anyway, I do have this big mess of strung and snapped beans. So this is called stringing and snapping. Y'all, come on down here to the south sometime and I'll show you how to do that part of it. That part I had down. These, though, I'm not going to pressure can. I'm just going to cook, and I'm going to talk to you about how I cook those here in just a second. So you want to get them, so let me get my popcorn out of the way. So you want to get them to that size. Then for the absolute best, and you can just keep them, keep them 1, maybe 2 nights. I mean, these were just done. These are barely 24 hours snapped, and these will be pressure cooked in the morning. So that'll be fine. But if you want the absolute best Southern tasting green beans, but you don't want the lard, you don't want the bacon grease, because my grandmother put fat back in hers, and she would take a thing of green beans about, I don't know why I put that clip up there, but she would take, hold on a second, and it says we would all sit out on my mama's porch and would have several 5-gallon buckets of them in the water. That's exactly right. That is exactly right, and those were like the best times. So a real old country woman, meemaws, mamaws, whatever, they would take this then and put it into a pot and put it on top of the stove, probably a gas stove, but they would put it on top of the stove, with water, and they would put fat back in there. And the fat back, it's just fat. I mean, it's like mostly fat. It's kind of like bacon, but it's really, 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 really fatty bacon. And they would cook this down and cook this down and cook this down. My grandmother would cook these poor beans until they were not mush, but I mean, she would cook them for a really, really long time with that fat back. Absolutely fantastic. Best beans I've ever tasted. Wouldn't trade them for anything in the world, except for we just took, and I know all these years later, we just took perfectly good, fresh from the farmer's market or fresh from your garden, green 0-point green beans, and just added a ton of saturated fat to them, okay? I'm talking a ton of saturated fat. I don't even want to know how many points those green beans were, but, you know, I was skinny back then. I ran around a lot. I never sat still, so that was fine, but it probably wasn't the healthiest for me. So I'm going to tell you how tonight, and then again, Tuesday, hopefully I'm going to get that video shot and posted of exactly how to make these. So I switched years ago, I switched to just using bacon, and I would cook a little bit of bacon down, you know, in my pan. I would saute it a little bit in my pan, break it up. Then I would add my beans, and then I would cook them and cook them and cook them and cook them and cook them, and I would cook them to death just like my grandmother did. Then phase next, I stopped using the bacon, and I started just using just some beef broth, like use some beef broth, and they were okay. They were pretty good, and I wasn't cooking them down as much. So I've escalated and escalated and escalated and escalated every year to now, finally, because I've not only perfected digital pressure canning, I've also perfected my Instant Pot. So, you know, over this last year and a half, I've tested out different things, Instant Pot versus air fryer. Which one do I like best? Blah, blah, blah. Well, you can't air fry green beans. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. They're not going to turn out right. But the Instant Pot, or if you have just any other brand of pressure cooker, that is where your green beans are going to shine. And if you want to make real old lady, country woman, country church lady green beans, here is my secret. My secret is fresh green beans. As a backup, I do use, if I don't have fresh green beans or canned fresh green beans, then as a backup, I will use the Allen's brand. It's Allens, and I don't know if they have that everywhere, but the Allen's brand of green beans that are like a flat Italian green bean, those do cook up really well like this. And then the Trader Joe's green beans that are in the frozen bag, they do as well. But I don't use meat anymore. I don't use bacon. I don't use fatback. I don't use lard. I don't use any of that in my green beans. Instead, I use a little bit of olive oil. And you got to get you a good quality. I mean, this is not like best quality, but it's a pretty good, Bertolli's a good quality. I actually bought some even better olive oil today that was on sale at Kroger. That's tucked away in the cabinet. But get you some good olive oil, and literally for a thing this size, a mess this size of green beans, and I'm not going to take the lid off and do it because I'm not ready to cook them, but you literally just go bloop. So it's probably 1/8 of a cup of olive oil. Sometimes, not all the time, I'll use a little bit of bone broth. You do not have to do that. You can use water, you can use vegetable broth. I mean, with these two ingredients, you do not have to use actual meat, any kind of meat broth, but you can. So if you're interested in getting a little bit of bone broth in, you can. But so you've got a thing of green beans, a pot full of green beans, some water, a bloop, and tomorrow, Tuesday when I video this, I'll measure it for you, of olive oil. And then here's my secret ingredient. I don't know why this works. I do not know how I even started this. I have no idea why I tried this, but you have to. And it tastes like you cooked smoky bacon in it. It tastes like you cooked it with fat back. I cannot explain this. Somebody please explain this to me. The olive oil and Bragg liquid aminos. I have no idea. I have no idea why. But again, just a whoop, and I'll measure it for y'all on Tuesday. Bragg liquid aminos and some olive oil. You put that in with the green beans, put them in the Instant Pot, and you have to have at least a cup of water in the Instant Pot for this to work. So either a cup of water, keep a cup of vegetable broth, whatever you want to do, but this works great with just water, and you cook them on high pressure for 7 minutes. That's it. It takes it like 10 minutes to build up to pressure, 7 minutes on high pressure, and then you let it, oh my gosh, vent. You let it natural vent for about, okay, and Sarah's like, vinegar, what? You let them naturally vent for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you can quick release the rest of the way. But it's Bragg liquid aminos, and it's like a soy sauce substitute, but it's actually good for you. It is a lot of sodium, I'll tell you that. It's an all-purpose seasoning from soy protein, though, so if you're allergic to soy, you might want to pay attention to that. Okay, we only have 5 minutes left. I promise I will explain all that slowly in a video on Tuesday, but this is what you get. This is absolutely what you get. I do that the same way with the potatoes. I do it with the green beans. I do it with the potatoes. Okay, so y'all see how bright and green the green beans are. This is what you get. So this is what they're going to look like when you're done. And when you are done, and sorry, I forgot to bring oh, here, I have a fork. Hold on. I have eaten these. These are so good, and these are not cooked to death because I only did them on 7 minutes on high pressure in my Instant Pot. They are not the cooked to death, mushy, about to fall apart, whatever, like my grandmother did. These are absolutely the best green beans you will ever taste. I have eaten 2 quarts of green beans this week because they're so dang good. They taste like you put meat in there. I have no idea. I do not know. I cannot explain. I have no words other than do it. I cannot explain why olive oil and Bragg liquid aminos. I do not know why the combination of those two cooked in the Instant Pot with the fresh green beans, or again, Allen's green beans are really good made this way. Alyssa actually prefers those over, she likes the flat ones over the round ones. Absolutely best meat free, because you do not have to do this unless you just want to add it. Absolutely best meat-free green beans you will ever have in your life. So super proud that we did pass our pressure cooking course that we had with Gran. Yeah, we did it. So we will be pressure cooking a lot, pressure canning a lot of other things. You will start to see, nope, you cannot see it right there. Oh man, I don't have it turned the right way. There are some glass door shelves back here behind me. You all will start to see those things fill up with some canned ingredients as Becky and I practice. But I'm super pumped, super excited that we're taking this slow time during the winter to practice on that instead of freaking out and panicking like I normally do. Y'all, you need to try you some pressure cooked, no lard, but country girl green beans. Okay, so stinking easy. Okay, I'll get you all a video ready on Tuesday that will slowly go through all this, and we'll actually cook them in the Instant Pot so you can see that happen. Too much for a 30-minute chat because it does take just a little bit of time. But yeah, I hope y'all try it. And if y'all try this, please let me know because I love it. I absolutely love it. So I hope y'all had a great time tonight. I hope you have a great week next week. If you were watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. Please click on that subscribe button. We're also really low in new subscribers, so I would love it, appreciate it so much if you would hit that subscribe button, or maybe share it with a friend who's trying to do Weight Watchers that just needs a little extra help. It's totally free. Just go ahead and share it. But yeah, y'all have a great week, and I thank you for being here. See you next time. Good night.